You are about to enter the Red and Rev Sports Show experience. Get ready for some real sports talk from some real sports fans who were real sports athletes who have sports knowledge.
What's up, y'all? Episode 189. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just confused about some things this morning. Just a little confused. Hopefully, after the show, I won't be confused. First of all, Russell Westbrook is now the leader in NBA triple doubles, and his team still not winning. What's up with that? We talking NBA Coach of the Year again? I thought we already did. What's up with that? The NBA playoffs is getting closer and closer. All the pretenders about to be separated from contenders. And the Hawks are even closer to the fourth seed. What's up with that? Oh, my God. Tim Tebow is back in the NFL. And not as a quarterback, as a tight end for the first time in his football career. What's up with that? white privilege at its best. We got that and much more. It's episode 189. Red, Rev, Coach, and guest star, not special guest star, but guest star, Shelby. Let's get started.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the
We're going to start this early.
Sports Show. We're coming to you live from the ATL Show. Giving you real sports talk because we are real sports fans who are real sports athletes who have what?
Real sports
knowledge. So come on, hang out with your boys, Red, Rev, Coach, and our special guest, Shelby, as we have episode 189. And as is our custom, we're going to turn our numbers attention to our very capable coach who will not give us anything dealing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, Coach Patrick Thomas. What you got for us, Coach, for 189?
Don't mess with the black and gold, baby. All right, 189. Here you go. The number one is going to a man who you know for a fiery temper, who coached and played and lost his mind on several occasions. But he was the first, and I repeat, first tight end to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And his number was 89, and that goes to Iron Mike Ditka. Number 89, the first tight end to get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Mike Ditka. Now, Coach is the only person who saw him play. We're the only ones. We only know him because he coached. But Coach is the only one who saw him play. So thank you, Coach, for how was he as a player? Help us. Let us know. Because we didn't see him as a tight end. We just saw him as the Bears and the Saints coach.
He made the Hall of Fame.
Okay. Did you see his retirement party? What did it look like? You know, because you were probably the only one living at that time.
There's a lot of people there. We had a good time. Had some steak. Had some. They had shrimp. I can't eat shrimp. It was pretty good.
Okay. All right.
That was back when television was black and white, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. They had the antenna and all that stuff going on, so forth and so. But nevertheless, everybody, welcome to episode 189 of the Red and Rev Sports Show. We're glad that you all joined us on this Saturday afternoon. We're glad to have Shelby back with us this week, even though Red is already throwing shots. So you already know it's going to be a heated Red and Rev Sports Show on today. As we must do this real quickly before we jump in. Welcome, Revanite Nation. Let's see if Revanite Nation is live and well on this morning. Miss Ellie Von Williams is watching. Glad to have you. Sister Sylvia Harris, looking forward to a fantastic show. We appreciate your expectations. Brother Lance, good morning. He said he'll be dipping in and out. We appreciate the dipping, bro. I understand with the family. We appreciate the dipping. Vincent Woodruff, guest star indeed, Shelby Shell. So everybody's coming at you, Red. All right. What's up?
I said she was a guest star.
But you said I wasn't special.
Special guest star. I got you. What's going on, Chris Trailer and Shelby and the Red Love Fest have begun. Sister Ellie Von Williams showing Shelby some love. Sorry, Coach, but the only black and gold I respect is Doug High. Wow.
What they do?
How you gonna say there were two Mays High Raiders on the panel?
Oh man. All right, so everybody, man, I guess Thomas checked in early because he knew he wasn't gonna check in at 11 o'clock. All right, so we'll see if he checks in after the show continues to go on. But nevertheless, how y'all doing?
Good.
Y'all ready for a great show?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let's do this. Let's get right into it. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to go right into our Dope Nope Cope segment of the show, and I'm going to do something a little bit differently. We normally start with Coach, and sometimes we started with Shelby as well. We're going to start with Red. We're going to let Red dope on it first.
Yeah, that's
So
right. That's right, Shelby. And you already know where I'm going, baby. So just put your earmuffs on because you don't want to hear it.
I,
I am doping on MJ. Finally telling the world the truth that King Kobe was way more mentally tough than he could ever hope to be, which means Kobe Bryant is the most mentally toughest basketball player of all time, according to Michael Jordan. Thank you, Michael Jordan, for telling the truth. That is so dope, man. Appreciate that, MJ. I'm respecting you more and more in retirement, man. Dope.
Oh my gosh, he's done?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, man,
Rev said to keep it moving.
keep it
I could
moving.
elaborate more, but I won't.
Absolutely excellent.
All right, I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna dope on Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, the day that he tied Oscar Robertson's triple-double record, he also made a game-winning defensive play with a block shot against the Indiana Pacers. So that was a double dope on last Saturday, where he tied the triple-double record and then propelled the Washington Wizards to victory by making a key block shot, which won the Wizards the game.
Winning.
Coach, what are you doping on, sir?
Oh, I'm gonna change the narrative today. I'm doping on one China Agumake, and the reason I'm doping on her, if you didn't see her special 144 on how the women were supporting the movement of unarmed black men getting killed, you got to watch that special 144. She did a great job on profiling and talking about how they really got into that movement of the Black Lives Matter and how they supported the killing of unarmed men. So that's where my dope moment goes.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. And Shelby Wanda's will bring in her dope moment to wind this segment of dope up.
My dope goes to Drew Robinson. He is a triple player for the Giants. He actually tried to commit suicide last year in 2020 and lost his right eye. But he's back playing baseball. He hit a home run this week. He's using his platform to talk about mental illness, especially in baseball, especially with young kids. And he's my dope.
All righty.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody check your background noise. There's a TV going on and it's coming through. So check your background noise, everybody, real quickly. All right. It's on me. What am I noping on? And I am noping on playing that music out of tune. Okay, that's what I'm noping on. Nevertheless, I'm noping on Brian Snicker. Oh my gosh, what a terrible managerial job he did on, was it Wednesday? The Braves are down or tied 1-1, and he brings in the worst pitchers in the Braves bullpen. He brings in, as Red refers to him, as Lose Jackson. Then he couples that with Josh Tomlin, who really is a softball pitcher now. So the Braves lose to the Toronto Blue Jays on that day. Plus, they got swept. So I'm noping on Brian Snicker, and I guess I'll just add the Atlanta Braves as well, with getting swept by the Blue Jays and going 0-6 against the Blue Jays the entire season.
No!
All right. Coach, what are you noping on today?
My note moment goes to New York Giants first round pick Kadarius Toney, who decided to come to practice and find out as he getting worked out, his shoes wasn't the right size. How do you wait to practice for that? But he had to complete a drill without his right foot cleat. So he was out there barefoot on one, cleat on the other, and they call him Shoeless KT now. So my note moment goes to Kadarius Toney for not having the right shoes for your first workout. You should have done that a long time ago, son.
Wow.
You have got to be kidding.
All right, Shelby, and what are you noping on?
I'm noping on the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department and Fire Department. After the crash of Kobe Bryant and his daughter and the 7 other people, they took photos for their own personal use and are sharing them in the local bar. In fact, they're zooming in. There's video of them zooming in. And I hope Vanessa Bryant bankrupts the entire sheriff's department in her
Wow.
lawsuit.
Oh, come on!
That's terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Red, and you close us out. What are you noping on, sir?
I'm open on Mike Soroka. It seemed like Red may have been right on this guy. Another setback, another injury. Right when he was getting close to healing from his shoulder surgery, now his Achilles flaring up again. Now he's going to have some type of procedure that's probably going to have him out to, honestly, God knows when. Yeah, Rev, I'm kind of leaning to it where you was on this dude about a few weeks ago. Injury prone, injury long. Goodbye. You're done. I don't know when we're gonna see this guy again. I'm not even depending on him the rest of the season now. I mean, Braves need to make a trade for a pitcher, and I mean real soon.
An ace, no doubt about it. All right, Coach. Start us out with our coach segment. What are you coping on?
I'm coping on one Lebanon LeBron James, because the thing that you detest the most, you may be participating in the play-in tournament. Well, you might still have a chance to get out, but you might get out of there. But if you have to play, you got to cope with playing Steph and the Warriors in the first game, lose, and it might be a long off season. So LeBron James gets my coat moment.
Hold on, Red. No.
It's not your turn, Red. It's not your turn.
No. Here it is. Shelby, what are you coping on?
I'm coping on the Hall of Fame induction. I will cry because when I saw Natalia put on Kobe's jacket last night, I was in tears, and I could tell that Vanessa was trying not to cry, and so I know that I'm gonna cry through the whole thing. I mean, I still haven't even watched the whole celebration of life. I haven't been able to get through it, so I know I'm coping on that. I hope I don't cry and miss the whole thing.
Okay. She got her Mary J. Blige spirit. No, I'm not gonna cry. All right. All right, Shelby. And Redrick,
Yes,
how
sir.
are you gonna close out this cope section? No, I have to finish it.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's my turn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm coping with the Green Bay front office, and all of a sudden going through this Aaron Rodgers love fest now. After last year, it was the Aaron Rodgers hate fest, and the year before that, it was the Aaron Rodgers don't blow it fest. I mean, dude, it's not. Look, I'm sorry you guys didn't realize what type of asset you had at the quarterback position, but it's over with now, and it's a lot of too little, too late. All this love fest, all this slurping, the head coach talking about he can't imagine a team without him. Oh, look. It's old, it's tired, and it's coming off as phony and fake. We are tired of it. We already know how each person feels. You didn't believe Aaron Rodgers had an MVP type season left, and Aaron Rodgers don't trust nothing you say, okay? Now, if you pay him, maybe he'll be happy, but we all know you guys are far from any type of resolution. So please, just handle your business behind closed doors. But I'm sick of all this phony love fest, okay?
Epic fail.
All right, and I'll close us out. And I am coping on the average ticket price to go see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New England Patriots is $1,370 with a ticket going as high as $12,000 on Ticketmaster. So it looks like unless you got bank like that, prepare to watch the game on Sunday Night Football on NBC.
Like that's what we call the 1%ers game, real.
Yeah, man. That is for the elite in bank account. Yeah. That's for sure. I mean, when I saw that, I was stunned just to see that the cheap seats are going for $1,000. That is absolutely unbelievable. All right, let's turn our attention to Reverend Knight Nation, see what they're doping and noping and coping on. this morning. Let's see. Coach Miss Ellie Von Williams said you and her both saw Mike Dicker play. So
Yeah, that's right. She about that old. Thanks for being honest, Miss Williams.
yeah, Miss Ellie Von Williams.
She said I showed up didn't see him play.
Oh, she didn't? Oh, my bad.
Uh-oh.
I can't read. So she wasn't a football fan at that time because she was alive when that did take place, though. So y'all would have both had position been able to see him play. She just probably didn't watch it. All right. Dope. Sister Harris is doping on the King returns today at 1:00. Obviously, you could tell she's a LeBron fan. Sister Ellie Von Williams is doping on from February to present. The Hawks won 26 games and now are in the playoffs. All right, I'm sure Red likes that one. Vincent Woodruff is doping on. Sha'Carri Richardson continues to show why she's one of the fastest women in the world, running a 10.77 in the 100 meters. That is indeed dope. Good morning, Joe Black.
Joe Black.
Lance Bill Brew is noping on Tebow. Enough said. We got you coming on that topic a little later. Vincent Woodruff. Obviously, this is a topic. Tim, that Tom Tebow tomfoolery. I tell you, people ain't feeling that. How in the world? Everybody, we have to talk about it because that's 3 nopes on Tim Tebow.
I'm glad I got a good one on my introduction.
What the fans want. Tell it. Coach, CDC for fully vaxxed folk, but I have reservation on folk out here. What will say that they're fully who will say that they're fully vaxxed when they're not? Yeah.
Don't you got to present a card or something?
I don't know.
So you're gonna go ask people for their card. You're gonna go ask people for their card.
Well, yeah. If you're gonna get inside the stadium, you better. It's like showing your ID. I need to see your vaccinated card.
I think he's talking about more so just in public because they lifted the mask mandate.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about
not to go into venues, but just in general. Yeah.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Sister Ellie Von Williams said the Packers are giving Rodgers a sizable contract. Sounds like security. We don't know if he'll sign it, though. We don't know if he'll sign it.
They offered it?
I don't know. I'm still waiting for Aaron Rodgers' massage accusations. Not the Deshaun Watson treatment, huh?
That is not coming, Vince. You know it.
Shelby will be in Lance's amen corner for this. We need a wrap it up box for it. Sounds about right, Rev. Insane pricing indeed, no doubt about it. Sister has further evidence that the super rich need to pay a higher rate in taxes. Yep. Go ahead on and push Joe Biden's plan, why don't you? Joe Black says Tim Tebow is good for business. I'm sure he is where you are in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm sure you don't mind that one because that means you will be being
he just gave up his entire location.
And then Chris Trailer said black folk gonna bootleg the vaccinated cards.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here we go.
Oh man, Chris, absolutely. Man. Oh my goodness. You didn't call our race out.
They're gonna be selling vaccinated cards at the barbershop, just like they used to sell CDs, DVDs.
Oh man, that's hilarious. And the Team Tebow good for business sounds about white.
Yep.
That sounds about white, doesn't it? All right, we've already got our laughs today. Let's get into it. Let's start this sports talk. We got to go right into some basketball. Let's do it. It is coming down to the end of the basketball season. We still don't have all the seedings in place. There is still more uncertainty about seedings than the actual seedings. So we have a lot to talk about. And I'm going to pull up the standings so that we can put it on the screen real quickly. And because we are an East Coast-based show, we'll start with the East Coast. We know that Red in particular is probably the largest Hawks fan on this panel. And then we know that coaches Washington Wizards ought to be thanking the commissioner for becoming relevant because of the new play-in. So we have a lot to talk about real quickly. Ladies and gentlemen, real quickly, let's look at these standings right here. And see that Philadelphia, let me take that banner down. Philadelphia did clinch the Eastern Conference. So they are officially the number 1 seed. Then behind them, you got the Brooklyn Nets and Milwaukee still vying for second and third. The Brooklyn Nets play tonight, and then they also play tomorrow. If by chance Milwaukee and Brooklyn tie, Milwaukee owns the tiebreaker. Milwaukee then will move into the second seat, and that's critical in that because they could have a potential second-round matchup, and whichever team is the higher seed, they will have home court advantage, and it probably means a little something more now that fans are starting to be permitted back into arenas. The Hawks are a half game up on Miami and New York. They're in 4th place, so the Hawks, if they win their game tomorrow, they will secure the 4th spot. And we see that they may have a matchup between Miami or New York. And then the play-in game has been solidified with Boston, Charlotte, Indiana. I'm sorry for cutting off Coach's Wizards. The Wizards are the 10th seed. The Wizards are the 10th seed. So there go standings right there. Let's get right into some conversation. Shelby, I'm going to start with you. What is most eye-popping for you as you look at those Eastern Conference playoff standings as they stand today? What are you looking for? What are you expecting?
I think the Knicks, because they kind of came out of nowhere. When the Hawks started losing, the Knicks started winning. I don't think they're the team to beat. It's going to hurt me to say this. I feel like the Hawks might be. I don't know how I feel about that because it's the doggone Hawks. But the Hawks, I did say they were in a free fall last week. I will admit that. And ever since then, they have been playing like they're having fun. Like they're playing with reckless abandon. So they could make some noise. The Hawks could make some noise. I'm not going to bet. Let me be clear, Red. I'm not betting anything. But I think the Hawks could make some noise. If they, I don't know. It feels wrong. It feels kind of dirty for me to say it.
So I need you to push the envelope a little bit more since you're on the show. What does it mean for the Hawks making some noise? What does Hawks noise look like in the playoffs?
Could they have a home series? I don't know if the Hawks have. The Hawks ever had a home series in the playoffs? I don't think.
Of course they have.
I don't think they have. But
they were number 1 seed.
Could we see? Come on. But could we see, especially now with us opening up, could we see a sellout playoff game at State Farm Arena? Like that would kind of make my heart feel good. And I think, especially if depends on who they play, but if they play Boston, I actually feel kind of good because of the injury to Jaylen Brown.
Well, they wouldn't be able to play Boston right now because Boston would play either the 2nd or 3rd seed. So you're looking at a matchup between the Miami Heat or the New York Knicks at this point. So I
feel good about them, though. I mean,
either one, even though the Knicks kind of took them to the
on a rise, but it's still a playoff. Anything can happen, and I think we've all seen where. Just because you win in the regular season doesn't mean you win the playoffs. And if we have home court advantage, which I know, going out on a limb, don't kill me. I think the fans will get behind it. Number one, we haven't been anywhere in a year. I think people will really go to these games. I think they would yell and shout, if anything, to get out of the house. So, absolutely missing. I absolutely feel dirty about my take on the Hawks. And if my mama is watching, y'all get us some smelling salts because she knows I'm not a Hawk fan.
All right, hold on, Shelby, real quick. Let me let Red interject on what your Hawk soliloquy. Red, what are you thinking about Shelby? Now, she did say they were going in free for all. She acknowledged her mistake, her blunder with that statement. So what do you have to say?
She making me itch over here. That's what I got to say, man. Scratching myself. I'm getting allergic to something, and it's probably Shelby and her BS, man. Yeah. Thanks for admitting that you said my Hawks was in a free fall.
I admitted it.
Yeah. But
They were
Shelby, look,
falling. They were falling.
hey,
They
what
might
I got to say is,
maybe
huh?
they watched the show
Hold
and
on,
they were like,
Shelby.
you know what?
Red.
Shelby
Hold on,
talk about
Shelby.
me.
Red has the floor right now. Hold on, Shelby. Go ahead, Red.
I don't mind listening to her because she just gonna talk herself into another hole again. So, but I appreciate you admitting that you're right. But honestly, what a difference a coach. What a difference a coach makes. I mean, like, look, I said from the beginning of the season, we all knew why Nate McMillan was brought on his coaching staff. And the funny thing I'm laughing at is when the move was made, Nate was acting like he didn't know why he was brought over here. Nate, now either you are a complete moron or dude, you just selling some jive, man, because you had to know why you was brought over here, and you had to know when we start losing, start choking games away by being up 10 points in the fourth quarter. You had to see the writing on the wall. You had to know that you was about to be called on soon. So this whole notion that Nate was surprised and I don't know if I can do this. Lord is my boy. Dude, say that crap, okay? Because you knew doggone well why you was bought on this team, okay? So
But
anyway,
Red, let's be clear. Hold on. Atlanta has the reputation of we gonna stick with a coach. We gonna ride with a coach.
We do what with a coach?
Atlanta, we
riding
gonna
with a
ride with the coach.
You were, yeah, but no, but Travis obviously was on some different mojo because I knew why he bought Nate McMillan on his staff. I knew that, look, it was issues with Trey and Lloyd last season. And I said, look, the goal was to win this season. So if we start having any problems, Nate was going to take over. I told Rev this when it happened. Nate was bought here to take over if we have any issues. And
all right, let's go back to the playoffs, man.
I'm getting back. When it happened at the beginning of April, we went on a winning streak. The Hawks been one of the best teams since Nate has taken over, which has guided us from the 11th seed when Lloyd was fired, all the way up to the 4th seed, looking at home court advantage. So
what are the Hawks going to do in the playoff race? What are they going to do in the first round?
I'm just as optimistic as Shelby is. I mean, I'm looking past the first round. I expect us to give the Knicks all they can handle and just glide right past them. It's the second round that's going to be up in the air. Do we get Milwaukee, who I really think we can beat?
No. You're not going to get Milwaukee. You're not going to get Milwaukee. You're going to get the Sixers.
Okay, well, I'll say this about the Sixers. I don't expect them to make it out the East because if you look back at the standings or you just look back at history, only the 2016 Cavaliers have been the only number one seed that has came out the East in the past, I don't know how many years. I want to say going back 10 years. Only the 2016 Cavaliers are the only number one East seed that has made it all the way to the finals. So that doesn't bode well for you, Sixers. So I'm expecting
the Hawks going to be the ones to knock them out in the second round. Are you willing to go on record and say that?
Yeah. Well, I guess I have no choice but to go on record because I expect my Hawks to play as hard. And that's right, Shelby. You can screenshot it all you want to. I am picking my Hawks to make it at least to the Eastern Conference Finals. Book it. I'm on record. I have faith. As long as our players show up, as long as we at full strength, and I'm not counting DeAndre Hunter at full strength because personally, I want Snell to get his minutes because Tony Snell is much better at shooting a three than DeAndre Hunter is at doing anything I can think of, okay? So that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. But I pick my Hawks to make the East Finals, and I'm done. And I can't wait to read the comments.
All right, since Red is done, Coach, can you provide some objectivity to his statement?
Well, I mean,
no, go ahead. Go ahead, Coach.
Okay. I don't see objectivity, but I'm gonna focus on a team that a lot of people are not talking
about. Hold on, Coach. Before you focus on a team, I want you to talk about the Hawks right quick. Before you talk about another team, give some commentary to what Shelby and Red have said about the Hawks.
He said that he feels like they can handle the Knicks but you 0-3 against the Knicks this year.
Well, Shelby said regular season doesn't matter, Coach.
But you're looking at a Hawks team who is finesse over physical. They're not as physical as the Knicks are. And the Knicks are one of those banging teams that like to hurt you inside. And the Hawks are beautiful from the outside. Oh, they'll light you up. But inside that paint, that makes for a different series. It could make that series very interesting if those two played each other. And I don't know who will win, but I know it will go the requisite amount of games, that's for sure, because of that that Knicks team.
All right, go with your other team that you wanted to put on the radar.
Milwaukee. A lot of folks not talking about Milwaukee, and they just quietly sitting back. Nobody's putting anything on them, but they quietly formulating a pretty good team that can make a run, depending on how the brackets fall. And I'm like, Shelby, Brooklyn. I said from the jump, Brooklyn will not win anything this year. Next year, year before that, because they can't all stay on the same team. If Kyrie ain't taking a break for a speech, or Durant is not taking a break for injury, and James Harden is just, he James Harden. They can't all get together. Now, if they all get together, they'll win some games. They still won't win it all.
All right, let me just agree with Chardin, and this is one of the rarities in my life, me agreeing with Chardin. But let's temper Red's emotions a little bit. I know when an Atlanta team does well, since we don't have a championship history, we get too excited. Look here, the Hawks have not come close to beating the Sixers all year, and you can talk about regular season doesn't matter. The bottom line is they don't have a superstar like Joel Embiid. They don't have anybody that can really create their own shot. So therefore, the Sixers defense is going to be stifling, and the Hawks are too dependent upon the outside shooting of their players, and they don't have Steph Curry nor Klay Thompson on their team to defy the outside shooting odds. So let's get back to just some type of civility. Trae Young is solid, but we know he can be erratic. And we have to kind of temper our emotions. And if they get past the first round, that would be a huge accomplishment, because that's not even guaranteed, because the Miami Heat, if they play them, Miami Heat, they have the experience and they have the best superstar on either team in Jimmy Butler. If they play the Knicks, that's a bad matchup, because the Knicks have the athletes from 1 to 5 who can guard the Hawks. So the Hawks getting out the first round would be a huge accomplishment. And let's just kind of say second round, from my opinion, is the ceiling for the Atlanta Hawks this particular season. Anything on the Hawks before we shift gears to the Washington Wizards?
I hope somebody upset the Sixers in the first round.
Well, you might want to start fasting and praying on that one, because I don't see that one. All right. All right, real quickly, Coach, your team has gotten the 10th seed. They did drop 2 close games to the Atlanta Hawks this past week. Mind you, there was the absence of Bradley Beal, and if Bradley Beal were healthy, both games could have gone either way. So your team is pretty rock solid. Well, they did have Westbrook, but Bradley Beal is probably at this juncture the superstar of the team, and Russ may be more like Robin to Bradley Beal's Batman, because Bradley Beal's been Batman all season, even though Russ has been coming strong lately. He's been getting this extra pub because of surpassing Oscar Robertson for the triple-double crown, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. So, Coach, what's the ceiling for your Wizards?
If Bradley Beal is not out there, the ceiling is the floor. I mean that's 30 plus, almost 30 points a game sitting. And his hamstring, as I've heard, is not. I don't know, the progression is not any better. So it's going to be hard considering what they did. Now they're playing well, but they beat Cleveland the other night. But everybody beat Cleveland, so no big deal to get in. It's not going to happen without Bradley Beal. They may beat Indiana, but then they jump into the playoffs, and they're going to go out early if Beal is not on the court.
All right, and I'm going to address real quickly as we close out the Eastern Conference because we need to get to the Western Conference real quickly. Alexis Hill says if Brooklyn is healthy and clicking, they are coming out of the East at least. Coach, you shook your head, so we'll go right back to you. Why is that not true?
Because they play defense. Simple as that.
Defense, OD.
Defense. That's what they play. Man, they don't play defense. They try to hope they can outscore you, and as soon as those shots stop falling, they're not going to out-rebound anybody, and then their defense is horrible. I mean,
and let me just say this. Remember, we're talking about the NBA. We're not talking about high school basketball, even college basketball, where you can just throw three of the top players together and just say win. Chemistry matters in the NBA. And when you look at a team like the Milwaukee Bucks, as Coach alluded to earlier, they have built very good team chemistry. And don't be surprised if the Nets get out of the first round, they will get beaten by the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks have the players on their roster to be able to offset anything that the Nets can do. They have someone who can defend or contain Kevin Durant. They have guards like Drew Holiday and a forward like Chris Middleton who can help slow Harden as well as Kyrie down. Remember, the Nets have absolutely nobody who can defend the Greek Freak. They have absolutely nobody who can defend the Greek Freak. So the Bucks have much better team chemistry. And don't forget, as I shared a few weeks ago, the Bucks picked up PJ Tucker. That may not mean a lot to somebody, but PJ Tucker is somebody who can get in the mind of Kyrie, who is not the most mentally tough. He can get in the mind of James Harden as well as KD. So PJ Tucker, I'm not saying he will shut them down, but he can get into their mind, and he is a tough guy who's going to put some of his body on them, and that is something that they do not want to see for a 7-game series. Trust me on that. Since I played the game, those are the people that are most annoying. They may not be the most talented, but they are physical, and those are hard people to play. So with that being said, Shelby or Red, do you have anything to add about what we just talked about in regards to the East?
I think when you look at Brooklyn, I know. I said when you look at Brooklyn, just because you put a bunch of superstars on the same team, that doesn't mean anything. We saw that with the Heat when LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and I guess Chris Bosh, I guess he was considered another superstar. And they had that huge opener. Oh, not one, not two, not three. And we're like, and you won one. James Harden doesn't show up in the playoffs. We see that all the time. He never shows up. He is a regular season player. Kevin Durant is a lot more emotional than I thought he was going to be. A lot more emotional. I'll just put that out there. And then Kyrie is also, I love the fact that he's taking care of his mental health. Let me put that first and foremost. But
yes,
I'm just saying, you're playing basketball. And so I need you to play basketball and work on your mental health in the off season. And if you need to take time off, use the All-Star break as a time. But you're being paid to play basketball. And if that's not what you want to do, maybe being a coach is better for you. Or maybe being an analyst is better. But again, bless their hearts. I do feel bad. They want
All right, Red. And let me ask you something real quickly as we close out this Eastern Conference segment. Are you sleeping on the Miami Heat? Maurice Thrower said don't sleep on them.
Who, me or Shelby?
Are you sleeping on the Miami Heat? Because Maurice Thrower said don't sleep on the Heat.
I haven't begun my talk yet. How does he know I'm not going to mention his Miami Heat?
No. I'm asking you a question. I'm just asking you a question.
No, I'm sleeping on him.
Okay.
Now, Maurice, if you give me a chance, you'll find out what I think about your Heat. No, I'm not sleeping on them, but I'm not expecting much either. But anyway, let me respond to my co-host. Back to them. Rev, I agree 100% with you about what you said about Brooklyn Nets mental health. I have no faith in it. I agree 100% that I think Milwaukee will be the team to take them out. Shelby, I think you made some good points, even though you was rambling a whole bunch. But I think you finally got to your point. But this is what I
If we
think
weren't
about.
on camera,
This is what I think about Milwaukee. Rev, Shelby, Coach. I think the time is now for Coach Bud. I think if he can't get Milwaukee to the finals this year, I honestly think Milwaukee might be looking to make a change. Because first of all, you had the number one seed in the East 2 years in a row, and you completely choked it away. You didn't even make the finals neither time. Now you're probably going in with the number 3 seed, like Rev mentioned. You completely underrated, completely not talked about, which is probably giving you the best, putting you in the best position to make a run right here. So, and Rev said you got the team, you're pretty deep, you got the stars, you made all the proper trades, you have a team that's ready to make a championship run. Coach Bud, you've been choking since 2015 Hawks, buddy. Now is the time, okay? I expect, take away my Hawks doing anything, but now it's time for me to get some real sports analysis, not be a complete homer. I expect Milwaukee to come out the East this year. I don't expect, like I said before, I don't expect the Sixers to come out the East. No number one seed in the East ever makes it to the finals. So this is the year I expect Milwaukee to get over the hump. And if they don't, Coach Bud, update your resume, buddy, because we all know they're expecting championship in Milwaukee, especially during this while this championship window is open for the Greek Freak and this little team they got. Coach Bud, if you can't get this team over the hump, man, I'm don't doubt they're going to probably be looking to upgrade in the coaching department. So this is the year I expect Milwaukee to get through the hump. I don't believe in the Nets. I don't believe in their mental toughness. I don't believe in the Sixers. It's just something about them. Ben Simmons, you still can't shoot. That's going to be a liability when the playoffs start. And that's it.
All right, real
So
quickly,
you want
Red has Milwaukee.
So you want
Red has
Rambling.
Milwaukee coming out the Eastern Conference. Shelby, who do you have coming out the Eastern Conference?
Milwaukee.
The way it's Milwaukee, Coach.
76ers.
76ers, and I'm going with Milwaukee as well. I think they come out. All right, let's go to the Western Conference real quickly. Let me give you the standings at this moment. And here are the standings. We have that the 10th seed is the San Antonio Spurs. If you can't see it, they clinched last night, the 10th seed, so they'll be playing in the play-in game. So you have Utah at number 1 with Phoenix. Utah can wrap up the number 1 seed if they win their next game, or if they wrap up the game. If they win, they wrap it up, or they've already wrapped. Well, no, they can wrap it up. Nevertheless, Denver moves into the 3rd seed. The Clippers had little shenanigans last night. They rested all of their superstars and lost to the Houston Rockets. Yep. What's up with that, Red? We'll talk about that in just a moment. The Dallas Mavericks clinched the playoff berth, so they don't have to worry about going into the play-in game. 5th seed. Portland and LA are battling for the 6th seed. The person who becomes 7, they'll be in the play-in game. So I forget who wins the tiebreak. I want to say the Lakers have the tiebreaker over the Trailblazers. I'm not sure. Portland has the tiebreaker. So if Portland wins out, the Lakers are in the play-in series. And then we have Golden State, Memphis, and San Antonio to finish out the playoff race in the Western Conference. So with that being said, I'm going to start with Red. Your Lakers, 7th seed. Will they avoid the play-in game? What you got?
I'm hoping they avoid the play-in game, but realistically, I think they may have too many losses, unfortunately. And like you say, if Portland wins out, and we just need too much help. So for me to just sit here and start thinking 6th seed will be unrealistically. So realistically, I'm getting my mind ready for the play-in game. But to correct Coach earlier, when you stopped me, I'm glad you did, because now I'll come back. I can do it now. The Lakers will be playing Memphis, I think. I'm not sure, but I thought the Lakers will be playing Memphis and the Warriors will play the Spurs.
So the winner of the 7-8 will go automatic. They only have to win 1 game.
Right.
The loser,
so we have to play Memphis.
The loser of the 7-8 game right now will be the Lakers and the Warriors. The loser of that game will play the winner of the Spurs and Grizzlies.
And that's for the 8th seed.
That would be for the 8th seed.
Oh, okay. So
all the Lakers, if the Lakers win the 7th, if they get the 7th seed, all they have to do is beat the Warriors, and then they get the 7th seed.
Gotcha. Okay. Look, man, we are gonna put the mask on Steph Curry. I believe Frank Vogel will come up with a defensive game plan, and he would just put the net right over Steph Curry. It's gonna
hold up, Red. Hold up now. Now, before you might be counting your chickens before they hatch with the Lakers and the Warriors, because you're not giving the Lakers a chance to get the 6th seed. Listen to this.
Okay.
The Trailblazers have to beat the Denver Nuggets tomorrow. Okay. And the Nuggets have a reason to play their players so they can clinch the 3rd seed. If the Nuggets win, they get the 3rd seed. The Clippers fall to the 4th seed because they own the tiebreaker between the Clippers and the Nuggets. So your team plays the Pelicans. They beat the Pelicans, and the Nuggets beat the Trailblazers. Your team is the 6th seed. Looking at a matchup between the Denver Nuggets. So you may be talking play-in talk a bit too early.
Hey, that's great. You know we can handle Denver.
Yeah, so I think you shot your team short, man.
Okay, sorry.
Because you should be a big Denver Nugget fan right about now.
Okay, well, for one time I was trying to be realistic and stay even killed, and Rev telling me to get back on the bandwagon. Okay, right. We ain't gonna. We the Lakers, man. What we talking about? Play-in game. What are you talking about? We ain't going to no play-in game. We better go to the playoffs, the 6th seed, a respected seed in the Western Conference. You doggone right, Ray. Appreciate that, buddy. Woo, boy, I'm pumped up now. And you doggone don't think Denver gonna beat us, man. Look, all my Lakers just needed a spot. I'm pretty sure LeBron been resting up. I'm not even sure how hurt he really is. I'm hoping LeBron is tricking me like he used to trick me when he was in the Eastern Conference. Pretend like all is done. Oh, woe is me. And then all of a sudden you look up LeBron in the doggone NBA Finals. So, LeBron, I hope that's what you're doing, because I sure do need it for my Lakers right now, buddy. I need you to come back strong, man. I need you to come back and say, man, y'all thought I was done? Absolutely not, boy. You are crazy. My name is King James, and we are going for ring number 18, baby. And ain't nobody gonna stop us now. Lakers, ring number 18. That's my Western Conference pick, baby. All the way out the West. I don't care who in our way. Clippers, Suns, Jazz, bring it on.
Shelby, why don't you comment?
Here we go.
Absolute multiple personality disorder.
You blame Rev, Shelby.
Because I was absolutely saw it happen. You saw it happen on camera. You saw it happen.
Blame Rev.
Exactly. Send a wellness check, because you saw it happen on camera. I haven't seen anything like that since I watched Sybil. Like, that was a lot. It was a lot. And a wellness check, call Grady. What is the 8th floor, 9th floor, Grady? I think that's where they have the mental health people.
Hey, I know May is the mental health month, but all you experts, please save
Thank you, Vincent. Flip on 8. I mean,
Vincent gonna be right there with me while he's talking.
Didn't he take a breath in between? So I really hope the Lakers get the play-in game, and I hope the Warriors beat the full out of them. That's my dream. That's my wish.
Yeah,
Clay and I are talking about it. Because I date Clay. Clay,
we get to your point.
I'm getting off my boy Clay. Okay, we're thinking about retirement. I mean, the injuries are just racking up. But anyway, I hope the Lakers lose. That would just make everything perfect. I do LeBron. I think Red, in his multiple personality rant, I think he's right. I think LeBron is faking. I think he's absolutely faking. I think the injury to Anthony Davis is real, but LeBron, because LeBron, you can't sit out. The NBA has pretty much made it impossible to sit out and to rest your players like they used to do, last year. But you can't do that now. But if you fake an injury, you have to sit out. So I 100% believe that LeBron will be on the court today. I think Ms. Harris says at 1 o'clock. I 100% believe he's on the court because they need to win. I think his whole, oh yeah, we did a play-in tournament, and I love it. So
hold up, Shelby. Hold up, Shelby. You're kind of breaking up a little bit. Your internet connection is that Mississippi internet right now. That you used to talk about. So I'm gonna say, hold on right quick,
okay.
and you coach in right quick and try to tighten up your internet connection if you can. Go, Coach. What you got for us, Coach?
I mean, people are gonna sleep on Denver, but Denver has been playing some great ball without Jamal Murray. I didn't think they would. I thought they was gonna fade and be a 5, 6, 7 seed, but they have jumped back up there. Utah and Phoenix, I'm sorry to tell you this, but both of you all are, the word frauds come to mind. You look good right now, but when they take the makeup off, you all are just normal. You're not gonna get any prom dates. So Utah and Phoenix, not counting y'all in the finals or anything. I think, and this is gonna go out on a limb because you can do it. I think it's the Clippers' time.
Okay. Now explain more. As Shelby's working on the internet connection, tell us why you can't just drop the mic and not add any extra on it.
You see what Tyronn Lue, who still, they say he's the coach, I guess he is, but he rested those guys down the stretch in game that didn't mean anything. The Clippers have been playing quite well also. I don't, like I said, if the Lakers are not fully healthy, I don't see it, but they are getting here. If LeBron hits that floor, that raises their level up, big time. But I still say the Clips can come. This is their year. If they don't win it this year, then they're gonna have to call up who? I don't know. Whether Hubie Brown or somebody to coach them, because this got to be the year. Other than that, it's not gonna happen because that team probably break up after this year. So I'm gonna go out on the limb and say the Clips sneak out of the West, and I did say sneak.
All right, and I want to just add on to what you're saying. I think the Clippers are playing chess right now. Mm-hmm. They are making some calculated moves based upon the seedings. I think they were intentional about making sure that they tried to avoid the Lakers in the first round. And then I think they've also made the calculated decision that they can take out the Utah Jazz as the number 1 seed. So they would rather play the Mavericks, the way it's looking like right now, based upon their decision to rest their starters on last night. They're saying we would rather play the Mavericks in the first round, then play the Utah Jazz in the second round, and then face the Lakers or whomever in the Western Conference Finals. And I believe that's why they rested the players, because if they didn't, they know that the Lakers will probably be the 7th seed.
Yep.
All right. So therefore, they can meet the Lakers in the second round.
And they scared.
And therefore, they decided, look, we want to go Mavericks, Utah, then Lakers, rather than possibly having a second round matchup with the Lakers. What are your thoughts about that, Red?
It's going to cost them. I mean, all that trying to maneuver and planning, they're not even sure they're going to get past the second round, which they never have gotten before. I'm just saying, they just need to let things happen naturally. Stop acting like they this big-time championship contender, because they haven't won anything in their history. All this maneuvering, all this, we're going to sit players because we're trying to avoid this team in that round and this team at, look, it's going to come back to bite them, while my Lakers just going to be ready for anybody that comes in our path.
Okay. Let me hit you with that. Wouldn't it be common sense to you call it scary, but wouldn't it be common sense to avoid the last year champion into the finals? Wouldn't that make common sense as a coach to try to do that?
Yeah. You don't want to. I mean, I think. Here's the reality. I think that teams have gotten a wake up call that Anthony Davis is healthy, and I think Anthony Davis's play lately has caused some people to say we may not want to go down that LA road right now. And people are going to expect LeBron to be LeBron or do some LeBron-like things. But if AD is cooking the way he's been cooking, I think some teams are like, I don't know if we want to face that right now. So I think, the Lakers, even though I think chemistry still matters, and, sometimes LeBron can defy those kind of odds because he's just that exceptional as a player. He can beat you in multiple ways. I think some teams have made the calculated decision, the Clippers being one, they do not want to face the Lakers until the Western Conference Finals.
To that point, I remember when I was coaching at Grady High School and we were playing every day, we would always go through the standings in our division. And when we got that bracket for the tournament, we saw we were end up exactly what you said. We would go in there and say, man, we don't have to beat this team. If we lose, we lose. And that way we can avoid and shoot. That got us a couple of conference championships because we knew how to maneuver, especially we won the number 1 seed. Now you got to do some maneuvering to try to get away. So, hey, it's a strategy that could work. Why would you want to open up with a team who won the championship in the first round? That makes no sense.
Yeah. All right, real quickly, as we close out this segment, we're going to have halftime, and then we got a lot to go, so we're going to put a time limit on the subject matters that we have going forth after halftime. All right, who you got coming out the West? We'll start with Shelby. Thank you. Your internet connection looking good.
Thanks. Phoenix. Phoenix.
Whoa! The big one is coming. You've been drinking all some of that CP3 juice. 15 seconds. Why the Suns?
They look good. I mean, they look good. I think this is the place where Chris Paul is best because he's just the point guard. He's not trying to score. Cory Booker scoring. I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say
Phoenix. Wow, I wouldn't put any money on that one. But go ahead, Coach. Who's coming out the West?
Clippers.
Wow.
They will.
Red.
Yes, sir.
Who you got?
We already know.
For real. I thought this was a question for you, Rev and Shelby.
So Lakers.
There you go, buddy.
Clippers.
He's already said he's putting money on the fact that the Lakers are winning.
And I'm gonna defy what I just said just the other day. Once I saw AD, I'm gonna go with the Lakers. I'm gonna go with the Lakers. I'm gonna go with the Lakers.
You see how powerful that Laker love is, Shelby.
AD seemed like he dipped in some pool of healing.
That 40-point game changed your mind, didn't it, Real?
That game, the 2-3 past games of AD, that definitely made me thinking if LeBron could come back at 80%, they could still be in good shape. Because
he just stopped falling all over the floor.
Because the playoffs is superstar driven. The Nuggets won't beat them because Jokic is gonna choke. He always bows down at critical moments. And then that means they'll have a date with Utah. Utah's not beating them. NBA ain't letting that happen because it's just superstar driven. And then the Lakers would have had enough games behind their belt by the time they play in the Western Conference Finals to have some chemistry, and I can see them beating the Clippers. So that's why I'm gonna go with the Lakers, even though it goes against what I traditionally believe because the Lakers have been hurt. And it's going to be interesting how they infuse Dennis Schroeder and LeBron back into the mix without taking away from AD and some of the other guys who are playing well. All right. So we talked there, and we got some more basketball we're going to talk about once we come from the break. Got a little baseball that we're going to talk about. Then we got some football that we're going to talk about. And we're going to do one of the things that we haven't done in a long time. We're going to put each segment on a time limit so we can get through all of these hot topics. But it's officially halftime of the Red and Rev Sports Show. We've talked some basketball. We got more basketball. We got some more great sports talk coming your way. We'll be back in just 1 moment. Let's get to halftime. And we are back and ready to start the second half of the Red and Rev Sports Show featuring Coach and with our special guest Shelby McDonald and the Revenite Nation. Vincent Woodruff said the time limit was implemented for Red.
Absolutely.
And we see some other comments from our last segment. People, here we go. We got a check-in. Here it is.
Uh-oh.
All right, Revenites. The foolery is officially back in the building. Flight finally got back in. Didn't make it in time to catch Snake.
I'm done. I'm done.
That's actually something I would buy.
I can't even finish the statement. All right, today's a great day because it's Kobe Bryant Day. I know Red and Shelby are happy about that. And we still need them in a TMZ segment for Red to report on the entertainment industry. All right. Let's get back into some basketball. We're on the clock this segment. So we're going to do 8-minute segments right here until we get to football. Let's jump right into some more basketball, and then we'll do our Braves report. Let's go into Russell Westbrook breaks a record. He becomes the leader, all-time leader in triple doubles, passing the big O. So with that being said, is this big news or small news? Shelby, you go first since you got your face the way you have it. Is it big news or small news?
Small news.
Something tell me she's done that before.
I'm just saying, he hasn't won anything. Y'all are always the ones who talk about Matt Ryan. He's got all these stats, but he ain't won nothing. So it's the same thing for Russell Westbrook. It's a great stat. Okay, you beat Oscar Robertson. Every record is meant to be broken at some point. Good job. But win something.
All right, Coach. You see, he feeling some kind of way. He broke in on his sports booth, so you know. Feeling some kind of way. So, Coach, go with it, Coach. Tell your sports booth how you feel.
He said every record is meant to be broken, but that's not true. Because ain't nobody breaking Cal Ripken's record. That you can forget that. That ain't happening.
All right, what about the triple-double? Is it small news or big news, Coach?
I mean, you look at the list of players over the years.
Is it small news or big news, Coach?
Oh, it's big news for him.
All right, now go with it.
I mean, a man that can actually accumulate those stats in a game. And I just like somebody said, if it was easy, everybody could do it. But everybody ain't doing it. Only the people who have pretty much going to be Hall of Famers and big time ball players. So hey, you know, and I to respond to her not winning anything, him not winning anything. I don't need to roll down that list of big time players who haven't won anything. Stockton, Malone, AI. I can roll out a whole lot of players. Chuck. You know, so let the man celebrate that accomplishment. That's big time to have that kind of stats.
You can't handle it.
All right, Coach. Coach said let us know how I feel. Red, you could break the tie. Is it big news or small news?
I'm just laughing at Shelby's little. Don't tell me she does that often.
It's a family friendly show.
Yeah, anyway, let me get back to this. I guess I'm a little in the middle, Rev. It's all right news, you know.
Shocker.
There you go, Red. You're proving the fans you're straddling the fence. Is it big news or small news? Ain't no straddling today.
Okay, I'm leaning to it. I'm leaning to it. Shelby's viewpoint. It's news, but it's not really nothing to be excited about because he does. I mean, Russell Westbrook has pretty much watered down a triple double stat. I mean, it's like he does it every game now. We don't even really get excited when we hear triple double and Russell Westbrook anymore. I mean, I'm shocked that he had that many to even come. The fact that he passed Oscar Robertson record, that lets you know this dude don't had a lot of meaningless triple doubles, man. Because man, he don't had that many. What, 182 or something? How many does LeBron have? How many does Jason Kidd have? John Stockton, Lloyd Russell. Like Shelby said, some of these guys you don't pass, they have done more winning than you have. So more is like she said, you have a lot of meaningless triple doubles. So I guess it's small news because it really doesn't amount to much. Because look at your team now. You're 10th seed, hoping to get in the playoffs. These triple doubles really don't amount to much, man.
What?
Coach, your rebuttal. Go ahead, Coach.
Okay, Red, let me go to Red first. Red, you're talking about the Wizards. Look at the team he playing on. You gotta be kidding me. You think that if you put LeBron on that team or Anthony Davis on that team, they'll be in the same spot. Don't try.
I don't know about that, Coach. I don't know about that, Coach. I don't know about that one, Coach.
Yeah. Why would you go there to that extreme, Coach? Anthony Davis and LeBron?
Maybe no. Maybe Anthony Davis, you got a point.
Both of them.
But not LeBron. LeBron took Bum to the NBA Finals.
Enigma, but you mean to tell me you get mad at him because he playing on a team with no stars and Brad? I mean, come on now. You going to blame him for them losing? How can you blame him for them losing? Nobody said the same thing when in 2016 when he took the Oklahoma City Thunder to the playoffs and they had nobody and he took them to the playoffs. Nobody said anything. I don't know why Russ's triple doubles are negated, but nobody else that got that triple double category is negated. Like, I mean, Jason Kidd.
Let me ask you this, Coach, because it's already been stated. Is it fair to compare Russell Westbrook in basketball to Matt Ryan in football?
No. Matt Ryan ain't broke no records. What has Matt Ryan done but put up stats? He ain't broke no records for all-time records. Matt Ryan throws up a bunch of yards. No, you can't compare the two. No.
So Russ is putting up okay, let's say. So he broke a record. He's putting up a bunch of triple doubles, but that's translated into what? Matt Ryan is throwing a bunch of yards. What has that translated into?
I'm looking at it like this, Real. Washington wouldn't be in the playoffs without him and Beal. Matt Ryan can't get the Falcons in the play. It's two different.
Well, Coach, let's be fair now. It's because of the newly implemented rule that we're even talking about the Washington Wizards this year. In most years, the Wizards would not even be in the conversation because the 10th seed would not even sniff the playoffs.
Okay, I get that. But would the Wizards, consider what they had to deal with at the start with COVID and injuries and everything at the beginning, should they be as high as they are? Should they have gotten this far? No, I'm not saying about the playoffs, but should they be a gooder team as they got up to be? Because they actually have been playing well over the last month or two.
All right, let me say this, Coach. only 6 teams are below the Washington Wizards in the standings. So I don't know if we want to tout them as being a major, it's a major accomplishment because there are only 16 teams in the conference and they're 10th.
Not saying major accomplishment. I'm saying they're lucky to be where they are because at the beginning of the year they had what 5 games or something.
But I think it's safe to say that the Wizards have just as good as a roster as Chicago, Toronto, Cleveland, Orlando, and Detroit. Would you agree?
I guess so. I mean, every team has like one.
Yeah, so they're about where they should be, right?
But like I said, from where they came, I'm not saying they're gonna win a playoff game. I'm not saying they're gonna be.
I mean, they were in the dumps. I mean, they were like, you can't get no worse. But they got the 10th. I like that they're relevant because of the play-in. I don't know if we can kind of just divorce what we got 34 seconds. I don't know if we can divorce the stats that Russ is putting up and like it's a difference between the stats that Matt Ryan puts up. I don't know how we can do that when neither one of them won championships. Because they both won one MVP. They both have one
finals appearance.
Finals, yeah. So I don't know how you can divorce. The only thing that Russ did is get triple doubles, and but they have amounted to no extra wins, no championships, and no
playoff series.
And a lot of those triple doubles, if we're going to be honest, they weren't even really during competitive seasons. So, like when he started going on his triple double run, it was when Kevin Durant left the Oklahoma Thunder, and he wasn't really playing for nothing.
He hasn't won a playoff series since.
Yeah. So when he's going on this triple double run, how many years did his teams make the playoffs and do anything in the playoffs?
So basically, the triple double. If any other players, during the season, we negate all triple doubles now.
We're not going to negate them. How many triple doubles LeBron has where they were meaningful?
We don't know.
We do.
Most of them.
There's only one season when LeBron didn't make the playoffs since he's really been in his prime.
Okay.
So he's been doing it. He's been doing it and doing it well quite often.
So basically, if LeBron broke the record, it would mean more. Basically,
it would mean more because he played in more meaningful games. I mean, when's the last meaningful game that Russ has played in a playoff series?
Well, he should have been. I mean,
we're not talking about should have. I'm asking when what?
That's what I'm looking at.
Well, he had a good teammate in Houston for a couple of years. Yeah, James Harden. I mean, Chris Paul took that same team, and had he not gotten hurt, they could have gone to the NBA Finals. So let's not poo-poo on the Rockets.
The last series Westbrook won was the series right before they choked at Western Conference Finals to OKC.
Well, the Rockets did win the series last year in the bubble. They did win the series in the bubble last year.
They did?
Yeah, they lost in the second round to the Lakers.
That's right.
Yeah. So we Coach, we know it's going to be big news for him. It's going to be big news for me because it's a triple double, but they add up to empty calories at the end of the day because there's no championships.
Empty calories.
Yeah, empty calories. That's what it means. All right, next subject matter, real quickly. Who's the coach of the year? Who's the coach of the year? That's the question right here. Who is the coach of the year? Real quickly, let's take this segment down to 6 minutes. Who you got, Red?
Okay. Honestly, I'm gonna be complete objective in here. We all know that how much I believe in Nate McMillan. He's done an excellent job since he's taken over in the interim position. But if you ask me, the coach of the year, the coach of the year 3 finals will have to be Tom Thibodeau, Monty Williams, and Quinn Snyder.
And out of those
three, I'm gonna go with Monty Williams for the Phoenix Suns.
And why? Real quickly.
Because Phoenix Suns, they have been sorry for a long time. Now I know CP3 was a nice addition, but that guy still is a well-respected coach and still had to convince a lot of players, Devin Booker, CP3, and some real respected role players to buy into his system. And they bought into it to the fact that he's the number 2 seed in the West right now. So I gotta say good. And on top of that, I like the job he did in the bubble last year, which I think led into the momentum led into this upcoming season we are in now. So I like money. I respect the job that Money Williams has done with the Phoenix Suns. Now, if they play my Lakers, it ain't gonna mean a hill of beans.
Well, we ain't talking about no playing Lakers. We're gonna just stick with the subject matter. So, Coach, are you agreeing with Red, Monty Williams, Coach of the Year?
Yeah, but I'm gonna go with
You are. So he said yeah, but
Yeah.
is he the coach of the year?
I agree with what he said about him, but I'm gonna go with Doc Rivers.
So that means no. He means no. Okay, no, he's not the coach here. All right, go with Doc Rivers. Tell us why.
I mean, Doc Rivers had negotiated through some injuries to Embiid, and then Simmons is out, and then they added some pieces and did right to get rid of his son, save some problems. But I'm gonna go with Doc Rivers because I think they can go to the finals.
All right, Shelby. So you heard Monty Williams from Phoenix and Doc Rivers of the Philadelphia 76ers. Do you agree with either your sports boo or Red? Or neither?
Definitely not going to ever agree with Red. But I do agree with Coach. I think Doc Rivers. I mean, the Sixers were sixth in the conference last year, and they're first. You have to give Doc Rivers credit for that. He's a good coach and a good guy. I mean, he started here in Atlanta. I mean, he has the Atlanta connection, so I have to go with Doc Rivers.
All right, Red flipped it.
And his daughter married into a great family.
Flip it back, Red.
What are you doing? Stop playing with it. Let's stop
Red,
playing.
you can't be commenting to people while we on the show, man. Get a second device. But go ahead, Shelby.
And his daughter married into the Curry family. I mean, how can you not?
You pulled a Red right there. You pulled a Red.
I did. You like that, didn't you? I pulled a Red.
He's rubbing off on you right there. Let me just say this. I don't know what Red is doing. Maybe he got that same internet connection Shelby had earlier. I don't know. But nevertheless, I disagree with all of y'all. Disagree with all you all. I think Maurice Thrower is definitely on point when he said this. It got to be Coach Tibbs. Tom Thibodeau. It's not even close. Who thought the Knicks would be where they are? Who even thought the Knicks would be relevant? Who thought that Julius Randle would become one of the top players in the league? Somebody could argue for Phoenix, but we got a glimpse of what Phoenix could be in the bubble. They went 7-0. They went undefeated. Who thought that the Sixers would be any less than the 4th seed? Like, nobody did. We already knew that they were a playoff team. We already knew that they have been underachieving. So what Doc Rivers has done is not exceptional because that's why they brought him in to move to the next level because everybody knew that they already had the talent. And then, with Tom Thibodeau, nobody thought that Randle would be a top 15 player. Who came in and said Julius Randle is going to be the most improved player? Who came in with that? Who thought that these guys, there's no major superstar. Julius Randle has had a good run this year, but none of us, even after this year, expecting him to possibly duplicate, excuse me. I got coach spirit right here. Duplicate what he's done. So it's Tom Thibodeau running away because his team is the only team where we did not see this coming. With the Suns, we knew they were going to be better because they added CP3 on top of what they did in the bubble. And there was a great stat on ESPN today, on the other day, that showed how teams have improved drastically when they added CP3. It's amazing what he has done when he goes to another team where, in some cases, his team has won in excess of 10% more. 20% more when he's added to the roster. So that wasn't a big surprise. Nobody had Phoenix out of the playoffs going into the season. So for me, it is Tom Thibodeau running away. And Shelby, you will get a kick out of what this next one says. Look at this. Sorry, y'all. That is
Here we go.
His battery is failing him.
It's called
All
charger.
right.
It's called a charger.
Yeah. It's called charging it up before we get on the air. That's what it's called. But nevertheless, let's move on. So Shelby and Coach are reuniting in this conversation. They got Monty Williams. Red has Doc Rivers. I have Tom Thibodeau. But we'll move on. And we'll save this discussion for Red if he somehow charges up. We're going to talk about the basketball induction. And let's go right here. We could talk about Tim Tebow, Tom Tebow, gets signed. He signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We know that his former coach was Urban Meyer. And we know that it could be argued that he helped put Urban Meyer on the national map, helping the Gators win 2 championships. So we know that Shelby rolls eyes because she is a huge UGA fan, for she is a graduate of UGA, and we know that Florida is arguably the biggest rival of Georgia. So when you heard about Tom Thibodeau being signed, Shelby, what were your initial thoughts?
Tim Tebow?
Tim Tebow. Why? I guess I got this Uncle Tom in my spirit. Maybe that's what's going on. But go ahead on. Tim Tebow. Excuse me. Tim Tebow.
I want to be fair because I did hear him speak with a local pastor.
Well, listen, watch this one before you say.
I was trying to hold it in, but I couldn't.
Oh my goodness. But
I heard him talking to a local pastor that I listened to, Louis Giglio, about why he decided to come back and how he felt that the Lord was telling him to come back, and he doesn't listen to all the noise. I think that's great. I want you to love the Lord. I want you to listen to the Lord. Okay. But you're 38 years old. Okay? You have not played in the league for 12 years. You were a quarterback, not a tight end. Whose space are you taking? Whose spot are you taking on that team? You are not. Stop. And it is white privilege 101. Colin Kaepernick took a knee against police brutality and was completely blackballed. This man has not played, and Urban Meyer calls you and says, "Hey, come back. We got a spot for you." So I want to know whose spot did he take on the team. Somebody who has earned a spot is not getting a contract because Tim Tebow wants to come back and live out his NFL dreams. So stop it.
All right, Coach, do you have any reply to what Shelby just shared? Is this a classic example of white privilege?
Nope, not at all. It's an example of the buddy system. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. Everybody know Tebow and Urban Meyer are friends. There's no denying that. And people keep talking about Colin Kaepernick. Let me say this about him, and I want anybody, if you know something different, please tell me. When has Colin Kaepernick lately come out and say he still wants to play? I'm just asking. I hear everybody else saying he should play, but when has Colin come out and say he wants to play again? He may, but he's not saying it. It's like everybody else in the country is saying it. No, Vincent, it is not the same. Imagine, Vincent, since you're saying that, if 40-year-old Mike Vick decided to come back, would they be this big outrage?
Coach, name one black player. Name one black player who could do what Tim Tebow has done. Now let's set the record straight. Tim Tebow was a flop as an NFL quarterback. Then not only when he fails, he gets a top position at ESPN as an analyst. Then while he's a top analyst with college football, he gets to try out for baseball and gets a minor league contract with the New York Mets organization. He never makes it to the Major League Baseball. Well, I want to try football again as a tight end, never played the position on a competitive level, and he's in his late 30s. Now, what black player gets that opportunity?
Before I answer that, let me ask a question. Who do you blame for all this? Why are you blaming him? Why not blame the Mets? Why not blame Jacksonville? Those are the ones who giving him the chances.
Okay, but why is he getting the chances?
Because he got some friends, I guess.
Because his skin color matters. No, I mean, Coach, no matter how you want to avoid it, and Vincent, I think, is spot on. The buddy system is white privilege. I mean, we got to call it what it is. If Tim Tebow were black, if he were, Christian and all that stuff, had, the little scriptures on his eyeliner and all that stuff, iPads or whatever you call them, underneath the eyes, do you think a black man in America getting all these opportunities?
Not unless his name is Marvin Lewis.
Well, I mean, Marvin Lewis just had the right organization who aided and abetted his below averageness as a coach.
Yeah.
He just had a cheap organization who didn't want to spend money. But that wouldn't have happened on any other level for any other NFL team. But come on, Coach, what black Mike Vick ain't getting that opportunity? He's still getting railroaded about dogs.
Yeah.
And he ain't even played in the NFL. So how can you divorce white privilege and the buddy system? Help us understand that.
I'm saying this Tebow privilege with Urban Meyer, because who else is calling Tebow? Nobody. Urban Meyer the only one trying to talk. You ain't heard anybody else say, "Hey man, you coming back? You want to come to the quarterback?" No, you just hearing Urban Meyer, good old boy buddy system, saying, "Hey, I can let you come back. Come on back and play tight end." Now Jacksonville got 5 tight ends, 5 right now. I'm trying to see who gonna get cut and who gonna get left. But that's Urban Meyer.
Not Tebow.
That's Urban Meyer. I ain't seen any other team jumped out the way and say, "Hey, come on, you can try out for us because you Tim Tebow." No, just Urban Meyer, because it's more him for trying to sell tickets and everything like that.
Well, I can go along with the selling tickets aspect, but it's just going to be short term. That's what they said about him playing baseball. But when you're not that good, it's not going to work. And really,
but Trevor Lawrence and Etienne are going to sell tickets, in my opinion.
You think Tebow, the from Jacksonville, ain't gonna get people to the game? Please,
it will temporarily
for a minute.
Yeah,
it will temporarily. But I think as we close out this segment real quickly, Tim Tebow is really putting himself in a position where he's gonna get hurt, and the reason being is these NFL players are not going to take too kindly to this white privilege, or if you want to call it the buddy system. I think they're going to have a target out on Tim Tebow, and they're going to make sure that he never plays the game again, because it's some foolishness. I can agree with your Cap take, because in all honesty, I don't think Kaepernick should ever come back, because he sat out too long. And if he comes back and is terrible, then what these owners are going to say, and all the pundits, that's the reason why he wasn't brought back in the league in the first place.
Right.
So he should not come back into the league. Eat that money that you got because of how the NFL did you wrong. And, that's why I don't even respond anymore while Cap is not signed, even though it's true. But it's to Cap's advantage not to come back, because if he doesn't play well, he's going to get railroaded. And then that's going to give some credence to why the NFL owners blackballed him. All right, real quickly, let's move in to the NFL schedule release. Let's be real quick on this particular topic. We know that the schedule came in, and because most of the people on this panel are Falcons fans, and we'll get to your Steelers one day, Coach. Let's go with I thought I had pulled up the Falcons schedule, but I didn't. So we'll just have to go with what we know. Real quickly, I'll just state them. Real quickly, it is the Falcons open up with the Eagles. They have the Bucks, the Giants, the Washington team, the Jets. They also have the Dolphins, the Panthers, the Saints, the Cowboys, Patriots, Jaguars, Bucks, Panthers, 49ers, Lions, Bills, and Saints. We have a 17-game season. If you want to see the schedule, pull up the Falcons schedule on your own, Google it. real quickly. Red, real quickly. From that schedule, what do you see the Falcons' record being, and what games jump out to you the most on their schedule?
Like I've been telling folks all week, it's kind of hard to predict a record when you say you don't even know what the team gonna look like. But I'll go, since for the show purposes, I go out on a limb and say I'm optimistic we'll win maybe 10 or 11 games if Arthur Smith if he's worth any of his money, because I'm hoping he can get this offense back. And if we at least being consistent with the points scored and the touchdowns scored, I keep telling folks it don't matter what the defense do as long as Matt Ryan and the offense do their job. If Arthur Smith can get our offense back to a consistent level where we scoring more touchdowns than field goals, if I'm seeing more touchdowns than Young Ho on the field, then I'm feeling pretty good. If we labeling around 20 points a game, then I can tell you right now, we're not going to have a winning record. If we scoring close to 25, 30 points a game, things may be looking good. The games I'm looking forward to, I'm telling you, is definitely that 49ers game. I want to see how the Falcons go up against Kyle. I want to see Kyle. I just want to see that matchup right there, us versus Kyle. Definitely looking forward to the two Tampa Bay matchups. Really? Like I say, because not knowing how we're going to look, it's kind of hard to say what potential matchups you're really looking forward to until the season starts. But preseason, those are the matchups I'm looking forward to. And, of course, the Saints, I want to hook them up twice. But
Falcons record.
11-6.
All right, Shelby, you're a Falcons fan. Do you agree with that assessment of 11-6, even though you never agree with Red?
Never. I'm going 10-7.
One less.
One less.
She want to agree with me.
17 games is a lot. That's a long regular season. I do like the fact that they spread out the doggone NFC games out the schedule, because usually they're at the end. We play 5 in a row, and they're all NFC South teams. So I do like that they at least try to spread it out. I think 10-7.
All right, Big Wood, you ought to agree with you, Coach. From what you've seen about the Falcons, the additions, and it's been projected that, and I should have said this earlier, that Julio Jones probably will not be on the roster, for it was reported that they are not including Julio in any of the hype about the new season in their promotion.
And that's kind of affecting my predictions, Red, because
It's not your turn, Red. It's not your turn.
Well, Red made a good point. Sorry.
I'm just saying, but it ain't your turn.
All right. So with that being said, Coach, what are your thoughts?
10-7 without Julio, 8-9. I'm with him. 8-9 without him. And then I want to point out one game, and I don't know what the NFL thought they were doing, having the Falcons and the Jets playing in London. Who wants to see the Jets in London? Really?
Folk who don't have professional football in the nation.
But listen, but here's the thing: if London, like Kelly just said, if London doesn't open up by the time that game happens, nobody's going to be there. That's just a waste of time and a waste of money.
I agree. While at the same time, when you look at these international matchups, when does the NFL actually give another nation one of their big time matchups? No, they give you the matchup that pretty much a lot of people in the States don't want to see. so that's why they sell it the way they sell it. It's genius, because they're gonna get another nation tuned into a game that they don't have an opportunity to see every week. And that's why it may not. The Jets, Falcons. How many folk are running to see the Jets and Falcons even in Atlanta? Because we know we have a fan base here in Atlanta that goes to games based upon who we're playing. That determines the sellout, not the product that we're putting on the field, but who we're playing. So we could already, we already know we'll be getting discount tickets to Jets.
The product that we're putting on the field, but who we're playing.
So we could already. We already know we'll be getting discount tickets to check out when we're playing on the field, but who we're playing. So we could already. We already know we'll be getting discount tickets. Okay. Red, that's you, man. Yeah, Red. Turn us down off your. I appreciate. I'm sounding real well in my point, but don't need the feedback. Red. All right. Anyway, have you fixed that, Red? Okay, good. Thank you, sir. I was about to lose my mind up in here. But anyway, that's what the NFL does. They do a great job selling games that we don't want to see over to the international market. All right.
Okay. Well, that explains Falcons and Jets then.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, they sent the Jaguars over there. Who wants to see Jaguars?
Matt Ryan. Does that further show folks what the NFL think about Matt Ryan? You think they sending Aaron Rodgers or Brady or any one of their star quarterbacks overseas? Matt Ryan is not respected. Next.
All right, we'll go next then, just like Red said. Coach, real quickly, give us a prediction about your Steelers. We won't. Nobody else will chime in.
They can.
How much?
I said they can if they want.
No, time won't permit. That's why nobody can. Go ahead.
I would
don't
say
watch them, so.
11.
I'm with you.
11-5. Here we go.
11-6.
11-6.
Yeah, because everybody hyping up the Browns and the Bengals like they some great team. They still haven't improved to me. Now, playing Kansas City, Green Bay. I don't know why they think Minnesota is going to be that tough. Now, the first game of the year going to tell it all. Let's put it that way.
And who's their first game?
Buffalo in Pittsburgh. That's going to tell a lot right there. Right.
I think that's going to tell an L right there, Coach. That's what I think he's going to tell. And I know you're going to pick them, but nevertheless. Chris said, Red recorded the show.
Got it. All right. Have your little fun.
Oh, my goodness, boy.
With the vaccination cards.
That's right, Red, because you're not going to see the Cowboys.
Shelby ain't talking with her cheap dial-up Wi-Fi she had earlier, okay? Everybody over here has had technical issues, okay? So, I don't know.
Tell Red to change the aluminum foil.
Okay, y'all killing me. I can't even lie. Y'all killing me, man.
Oh, my God. Yeah, Red, did you get the comment?
This is the first day I had technical issues. Okay, first day, and I see everybody was just saving these jokes up.
Red got Red.
Man, these guys are killing me, man. Y'all killing me, man.
Oh, man.
Y'all killing me, man.
Reverend Knight, y'all on point, boy. Y'all never fail us.
You ain't lying. You see why we need some red knights over here? Look at all these red knights killing me.
All right, man. Real quick, we got two more topics, boy. They on the roll. Before we do, you had the right. Let's take a quick break, and we'll talk about the Braves report real quickly. I'm not even gonna put the chop music because they ain't been doing much chopping lately. Red, jump in there real quickly. We know that they got swept once again by the Blue Jays. They did pull out a victory last night. They did start the week off right, beating who did they play last weekend?
Philly.
They won 2 out of 3 with Philly. Then they got swept by the Blue Jays. And then they beat the Brewers. So help us out. You talked about Mike Soroka earlier being hurt. What do we need to be on the lookout for, and what do you see the week looking like for the Braves this week?
Well, this week was a complete disaster if you take away with the exception of last night. What we need to be on the lookout for, we need to be on the lookout for some jobs being lost soon if they don't turn this thing around. Some positions on the team being lost. I mean, this was just an awful week, especially with this pitching staff. This bullpen is one of the worst bullpens in baseball. They have an ERA of 4.86, which is almost 5 runs a game. Like the last play like last 5 of the National League. That's what all of the Brave bullpen statistics are. I mean, 4.86 ERA. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. If you look at all of the relievers, all of the ERAs are high, just skyrocketing, just rising up like the Falcons don't do. But anyway, that's pretty much where we at right here, right there, right? I mean, Rev, let me get my thoughts together. Mike Soroka, once again, disappointing. We thought he'd be back by Memorial Day. Should we be lucky if he even pitching on Labor Day? Like I say, it's just like I say, the Braves won last night. But you know what, Rev? I'm gonna be optimistic. Maybe it's just the Braves and the Blue Jays. You know what I'm saying? Because they pretty much 0-6 versus the Blue Jays all year. I mean, they could get a 10-run lead on the Blue Jays, and I wouldn't even trust it, man. Because every game they play the Blue Jays, they give up the lead. So I want to be optimistic and say maybe it's just the Blue Jays. Maybe the Braves can turn around, sweep Milwaukee this week. Who knows? I have a better outlook for next week. But right now, our bullpen sucks. Backs are inconsistent, but it's mostly the bullpen.
Shelby, you got anything to add?
Until you get a pitcher, this is a waste of a season.
Okay, short and sweet. Coach, anything else to add?
Yeah, I'm shocked.
Like Carl the Weatherman on The Simpsons. Braves lost. That's all. That's it.
All right, and I'm not going to say so, but I'm going to say so. I told you so, Coach. Red, I told y'all the Braves are what we thought they were. You all talking about they're going to go to the World Series, did not improve their pitching, and the Dodgers, who won the World Series, got the best pitcher on the market. I tried to tell y'all, but I'm just going to digress and move on to the next segment of the show since the Braves do not deserve any more time that we've given on the show. All right. It is some more basketball talk. We know that the Basketball Hall of Fame induction takes place on today. And I'm going to cue this basketball music up again. We know that 3 players who were supposed to be enshrined last year will be enshrined this year. And we're just talking about NBA players. We do know Tamika Catchings is going to be inducted as well from the WNBA. Had a great career also as a Tennessee Volunteer. Kobe Bryant is the headliner for this year's class. He gets inducted along with Tim Duncan and Kevin Garnett. So let's start with the other 2 guys before we get to the late, great Kobe Bryant. I asked the panel before we started this show to think about one word that describes each player, and then I want them to briefly discuss why they use that one word. So let's put Tim Duncan, who is probably the least exciting out of the 3, but arguably maybe one of the best out of the 3. Who knows? But anyway, Tim Duncan, one word. How would you describe him? Start with you, Coach.
Fundamental.
And go ahead on and take Big Shaq's word, but nevertheless, go ahead on explain fundamental real quickly.
You're not gonna get a parade with him, but you're gonna get a solid ball player with no hitches. Yeah, he just goes out, does his job, and goes home. Nothing else.
All right, Shelby, your one word about Tim Duncan.
Quiet. He quietly won 5 championships, 5 NBA championship MVPs. He wins, but he's like you said, he's not going to be loud about it. He just comes in, he does his job, and he wins. And he learned from David Robinson, who was the exact same way. David Robinson was not a loud guy. He just came in, did his job, and went home.
All right, and Red.
Consistent. He was a consistent winner, a consistent champion, a consistent great basketball player. I mean, drafted number 1 overall from Wake Forest, and he was everything the Spurs wanted him to be. 5-time champion. Like Shelby said, learned under the great David Robinson and just excelled his career after David Robinson retired. I mean, won without really that many superstars around him. I mean, when you think about it, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, I'm forgetting somebody over there, but anyway, those guys that played around Tim Duncan, none of those guys.
Tony Parker.
Who?
Tony Parker.
Yeah, I got Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. Most
Bruce
of those
Bowen.
guys. Who?
Bruce Bowen.
Yeah, Bruce Bowen. Like I say, those type of guys, Bruce Bowen, Michael Finley, a lot of those European international guys, they came over to play with them. None of those guys were household names. None of those guys we wouldn't even thought of unless they were playing with Tim Duncan and coached by Greg Popovich. So, like I say, Tim Duncan, like Coach and Shelby said, quiet, fundamentally consistent champion, didn't make a lot of noise, did his job, and won with whatever you gave him to win with.
All right, Revenite Nation, can y'all stay on topic? Unless you got to leave early, we have not gotten to Kobe Bryant yet. Calm down. We are going to get to Kobe Bryant. We are talking about Tim Duncan. Okay?
I'm just that hard, Kobe.
Stay on topic, Revenite Nation. We don't need to see anything about Kobe right now. Okay? All right, my one word is team. And I wanted to say team player, but one word, team. As they say, no I in team. He made the necessary adjustments that needed to be made while he was a superstar. He was a superstar. When he needed to take a back seat to Kawhi Leonard, he became a role player. That's why his career was extended. That's why the San Antonio Spurs were relevant until the day he retired. So my word is team. All right, we'll go to KG. Shelby, what do you think about the guy who pretty much popularized once again going from high school straight to the NBA? He was a part of our graduating class in 1995. So how would you describe KG's career in one word?
Beast. I mean, he was the exact opposite of Tim Duncan. KG came in loud. He yelled. He screamed. He said, I'm here and you're going to notice me and you're going to have to step your game up if you think you're going to stop me. He had a solid rookie year, but his play just got better, and he always got better. And he is a person who made his teammates better around him. He was just a great player, and he put Minnesota on the map. Who wanted to go to Minnesota before KG? Who watched Minnesota Timberwolves basketball before Kevin Garnett?
Okay. All right. Red, your one word about KG.
Glue. I mean, he was the glue that had all of the pieces stuck around him. I mean, he was the glue for Minnesota for many years, like Shelby said. I mean, you take KG off of that Minnesota team, they'd probably be contracted out the league right about now. And then once he finally decided to go to Boston, he was the glue that had Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and all of those guys, those unknown guys that we hadn't even heard of, like the Poes and the PJs and the Baby, the Glenn Baby Robinson. All those guys just stuck to KD like a magnet. And he bought the best out of all of his teammates. Any teammate he played with, he was going to get the most out of them, or you was going to be off the team. If you weren't going to play your best around that guy, you might as well get off the team, because he was going to bring anything you had inside out of it. So, glue.
Coach, I'll jump to you before I go. My one word. One word about KG.
Cheerios.
Please explain.
Well, I was just saying that as a joke as of what he told Carmelo Anthony's wife at the time. That was a joke that KG told him. I'm not going to go any further with that. You have to look it up. We're on a public show.
But real one word.
Intense. Because you never saw him without that look on his face like, we finna win this game, and y'all going to get with me or you going to get left behind. He was always intense out there on the court.
And I'm going to go with leader. He was definitely the emotional leader for every team that he played, especially in his prime. He was the emotional leader for the Minnesota Timberwolves when they had a good run. He and Stephon Marbury would have been a great 1-2 punch if Stephon had bought completely in, but Stephon did not want to play in Minnesota, but still KG showed leadership by playing with the hand that was dealt to him. Some people say he might have done that to his own detriment. And then eventually, when he went over to Boston to play with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce, he was a leader, emotional leader of that team. And that's one constant quality that he showed even while he was in the twilight of his career, as he was helping players when he went back to Minnesota. I think Karl Anthony Towns was just entering the league. He showed leadership by being a mentor to those players. So leader definitely comes to my mind. All right, Reverend Knights. Now you can flood us with the Kobe stuff. All right. I'm going to start with Red. I don't know who's the biggest Kobe lover between Red or Shelby, but I know Red has been displaying this on the show for the longest. One word, Red. One word. One word. What's your word about Kobe?
I'm gonna go with the word of the month. Mental. His mental toughness pretty much defined everything he stood for. His mental makeup, his mental excellence. I mean, his mental, the way he was mental for opponents. I mean, he got inside his opponent's head like no other athlete besides MJ. I mean, you weren't gonna get in his head, and he was definitely gonna get in yours. You might think you had him beat, even though he was down by 20 after 3 quarters, but I promise you, the game was just beginning. I mean, this guy, where he stood now, of course, he was lucky. He was lucky early on in his career. I definitely give him that. He was lucky enough to come to a team with a lot of veteran leadership, and a lot of those veterans taught him how to win. So by the time he got tired of the veterans and he was ready to bounce them off his team, he had learned enough from him to guide his own team and lead his own era of basketball. So it was just great watching this guy for 20 years. We had our ups and downs.
All right, Red, that's enough. Now you're going into your soliloquy, your tribute. You're not making the NBA inductions speech for Kobe. Okay, you're finished, man. Come on, we had our ups and downs like you played with them. Now we're gonna pause you right there. We're gonna
Like
go with
y'all was in a relationship or something.
Oh my God.
We got to stop you right there. All right, Shelby. One word about Kobe.
Oh my God.
Respected. Even people who hated him respected him. You had to respect his game. He played to win, and if you didn't want to win, he would kick you off the team, kind of like Red said. He was just respected as a person, as a player, and during his second act, which was just beginning before he passed away, he was respected as a dad, which is something that is amazing. Black men to be seen as great dad. I'm sorry. Go to somebody else.
I felt like I was his entire career. I felt like I was there. I was there. How you know where I was? I saw every shot he took up in the gym. Every last shot he took up. That's how I knew dominance and greatness was coming.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, Coach.
Ain't but one word that can describe Kobe Bryant: assassin. That's all he was. He didn't care about you, his cousin, his next door neighbor. If y'all hug after the game, that's after the game. That man was a straight cold-blooded assassin who would smile at you and cut your throat in 2 swift moves.
I'm gonna say scorer. That's what I think about Kobe Bryant. He could score in so many different ways.
That's it, real scorer.
I mean, if you really want me to give
taking all the words.
I'll give you some other words that may be a bit controversial, but scorer,
okay.
be a scorer. He could score multiple ways. He could score in the post. He could score as a perimeter player, and he was one of the best scorers to ever do it. I'll give you my other word that I was going to use that some of y'all might like, and I was going to think replica, because he replicated Michael Jordan to a T. Like, he studied Michael Jordan's every move, not only basketball moves, the way he chewed gum, the way he walked. So that was another word that I was going to use called replica. So I was being nice by saying scorer. Now, let me go to the controversial word I was going to say. And I want to stir up a little controversy just a little bit before we end the show. I'm going to ask this question to the panel before I say it. Is it the consensus that Kobe is on the same plane as Michael Jordan and LeBron James?
You mean if they fly into a game or something? Yeah.
Should he be in the same conversation with Michael Jordan and LeBron James? The reason why I bring this up is because this shrine this wing that's being built for Kobe at the Basketball Hall of Fame. So I want to preface my statement, my word that I want to use by asking a question to the panel first. Is he on the same plane as Michael Jordan and LeBron James?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
LeBron James has changed teams how many times? Kobe was with the same team and won. Michael Jordan, let's be honest. When Michael Jordan took off them 2 years, bless the heart, the Bulls, same team, but could not win. Michael Jordan was the leader of that team. He was the glue. We've always thought. So was Kobe. LeBron, you can put LeBron with anybody and he'll win. Kobe, I don't think you could. I think Kobe makes everybody better. I don't see that as LeBron. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. go.
I'm not, to be fair.
I told you,
I'm not a
man.
LeBron fan.
I told you. That was
I'm not
another
a
Shelby
LeBron
Rumble.
fan.
You and Red been talking a little bit too much together on this one. But go ahead. Go ahead, Red. Go ahead, Red. Is he on the same?
He's on the same level, but for different reasons. Like I explained a few shows back. Look, they all three great players, and you can win greatness with all three of them. But like I say, it all depends on your time frame. It all depends on what you got on your team and what do you need each player for. If you started from scratch, you got absolutely nothing, then you probably want LeBron James to start.
All right, Red. Don't give us this breakdown. Stay on topic.
Oh yeah, he's on that level, but just for different reasons.
And the reason why he's on that level is because of what?
Great scorer, great leader, a mental toughness king. Like I say, one team, 20-year career, never left the team. One of the greatest players of all time for one of the greatest franchises of all time. He is Kobe Bryant, Black Mamba. And that ain't gonna ever change.
Coach, is he on the same playing field as Michael Jordan and Kobe and LeBron James?
Nope.
Tell us why.
Do y'all remember the games that they played when Shaq was on the team? Who was Batman and who was Robin?
I'll answer the question.
Hello?
I'll answer the question if you want me to.
No, I won't.
I'll answer it too, because Shaq already told us. Who was Batman and who was Robin?
It was Shaq. Shaq was Batman. Kobe was Robin. The MVP trophies that Shaq has, the three that they won, shows that he was Batman and Kobe was Robin. Pressure on, Coach.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't need to say anything else.
All right. And see, one of the words I was going to use is overhyped for Kobe. Overhyped. And I know this might be controversial, and I know people love his style. But let's look at the substance. If you look at LeBron James and Michael Jordan's career, there is not one season where they did not average 20 points or more. One season. It took Kobe Bryant technically 4 seasons to begin averaging 20 points a game. Now, we want to be in the rounding business. His third season, he averaged 19.9.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to be in the round, but it took him 3 seasons. LeBron did that in season 1. Michael Jordan did that in season 1. Michael Jordan came in as Chicago Bulls Batman in season 1. LeBron James came in as the Cleveland Cavaliers Batman season 1. It took Kobe Bryant season 7 or 8 before he became Batman. I don't know of any superstar who's on that level who has been the second best player and gets so much hype as Kobe Bryant has gotten. I don't know another person who is on that playing field of the Michael Jordan, the Magic Johnson. Like, Magic played with Kareem, but Magic still showed that he was that dude when Kareem got hurt And as a rookie, he brought them a championship. So this is why we never look at Kareem as Batman and Magic as Robin. Even when Kobe won the championships without Shaq, it was the role players for that second championship that caused him to win because he shot terribly. He shot terribly. So I know people love Kobe. You know, he had the swag. He had the look. He had the scoring just like Michael Jordan. But if we're going to be completely honest, let's stop putting Kobe Bryant higher than he should really be. Those guys I mentioned, Jordan and LeBron, came in as the man and they left as the man, even though Michael Jordan left with the Washington Wizards. Let's be honest. LeBron had to go to LA and clean up the mess that Kobe left. If we're going to be honest, how irrelevant were the Lakers by the time Kobe Bryant finished his career? Can we be honest?
Jim Buss.
What other team, what other player, had LeBron ever left a roster and they became, and he left them in bad shape? The only reason why they got in bad shape is because he left. But while he was there, they never were terrible.
Oh, God.
Michael Jordan, the Bulls weren't terrible when he left.
The Wizards were.
Yeah.
Well, but he should have never. That was for business reasons. That was for business reasons.
I know. I'm just talking trash.
So I understand. You know, Red and I used to go toe to toe.
Yeah, really. That's what
When we first
I heard
started
it before. You can't even make me mad.
I just want y'all to understand that, you know, we want to salute Kobe, great player.
Shut up, Thomas.
Great player. But I just need y'all to understand, let's calm down the Kobe talk. He was a great player. And to be honest, to be completely honest, and I know I might not should say this, but him dying early, even though it's under horrific situations, it actually helped Kobe's legend. Because had he lived longer, he would not be getting all of the accolades and all of the press that he is getting. And therefore, it's a blessing for his legacy that he is being. No, Kobe don't owe me no money. He owes me a career that's worth being put on the same playing field as Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
Now you know what's funny, real? All of these Kobe slurpers that were going on before you started, now all of a sudden they on your side. Now I thought y'all was some big time Kobe fans.
No, Coach. No, Red. Let's be fair to the Revenite Nation. Just on today's show, when Rev dropped that knowledge on you, you reverse course too.
Uh-oh.
What would you talk about?
Uh-oh.
About the Lakers in the playing game. Don't get selective amnesia. Don't get selective amnesia. When Rev drops the knowledge, people got to listen. I ain't speaking in my feelings. I'm giving.
But they were acting like they were diehard Kobe fans like me, and it took a little bit of that. It take even.
Look at what Vincent Woodruff said. Rev made some great point.
But you did the exact same thing.
You did the same exact
thing.
Yeah, but it didn't. I knew y'all weren't no real Kobe.
Look at him. Look at Vincent. If he was spewing foolishness, we would say something. The facts are the facts.
Okay.
The facts are the facts.
It still didn't take y'all. It didn't take a lot for y'all to switch sides, though.
It didn't take you either.
You can't fight against the facts, Red. You can't fight against the facts. The facts remain. Kobe came in the league as a supporting player, not the superstar that LeBron James and Kobe and Michael Jordan came in. Kobe left the league with the Lakers being a hot mess. Let's be honest.
Yeah, Kobe
You
was
can
back.
still be a Kobe fan and agree with some of the points Rev made. Come on now.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kobe,
we don't flip flop.
Kobe was backing up Eddie Jones when he first came in there.
Exactly. Exactly.
What did he say?
He was backing up Eddie Jones from Temple.
I remember.
You know,
But
I
and I
remember.
mean, it is what it is.
And I knew Eddie Jones wasn't gonna be there that long too. When we drafted Kobe, I said Eddie got a couple of more years before he be up out of here.
But Rev, your point about and this unfortunately is true though, and you hate to say it. If Kobe was still living going into this Hall of Fame induction, it wouldn't be that much. It would be about the same said about each one of them individually, him, Garnett, and Tim Duncan. They may have gave Kobe a little something, but they wouldn't have done the tributes like they doing now, all this going through it. Seriously.
Because it can be argued, it could be argued that he's not even the greatest player in his class. Tim Duncan was more accomplished. If we're going to be honest about it.
Red, you have to be honest.
If we're going to be honest about it. Tim Duncan became the secondary player because he chose to do. He did something that Kobe was unwilling to do. To keep his team relevant. That's why I used the word team. To keep his team relevant, he said, I don't mind taking a backseat to Kawhi Leonard.
Red, what are you doing? What are you playing with?
Yeah, Red, calm down with your camera. I understand this kind of talk is making you itch a little bit, but calm down a little bit. All right, so Kobe could be argued that he hurt the Lakers. One, by taking a massive salary. Two, by not humbling himself to say, that was one of the reasons why LaMarcus Aldridge didn't want to go sign with the Lakers. And that's why he and Dwight were beefing. Because Kobe did not want to make that move to being a more subordinate player. And it's going to be interesting as we conclude this conversation. If LeBron will be able, if he stays and decides to play longer. And it's hard for these type of guys who are in that galaxy to try to take a subordinate role. It's going to be interesting to see, especially if AD can ascend. Probably AD can't stay healthy. But if AD ascends, can LeBron take a back seat? With his age, now his injury history, will he be able to take a back seat? That's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Any closing remarks from this conversation?
Kobe.
Thank you, Coach, with the chance. And indeed, we celebrate the three players, and of course, it's a wonderful thing to see Kobe's daughter.
I'll save my remarks for 5:30 today.
Okay, we know you're gonna have your own Kobe shrine that you're gonna put up. You're gonna be in uniform. You're gonna throw pictures of you and Kobe at shoot around.
Just be prepared. Be prepared, all of my Facebook friends.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe so Red can, and that's why he can upgrade his phone.
Hey, Vincent said Red that you got a lot of what he said? I don't know, a loitering tickets or something at what's the name?
Staples Center.
Staples Center. I said I don't want this work.
Red, check this out. Vincent is not giving your show some credit that's gonna come on at 5:30.
What is Vincent?
I didn't say I was gonna do it for rude. I just said I'm gonna post us. Red doesn't like it.
Vincent is crazy.
Yeah. Thanks, Vincent. Coach was trying to repeat what you said and couldn't even get it out. Trespassing warrant.
All right, man. Let's put a ball on this show, man. This has been a good one. Let's go to our last segment. You have the right. Who has the right to do what, when, where, and how? Shelby, go ahead and close this out for us. Start it out.
Georgia Tech, you have the right not to tell everybody that you're going to be opening up your stadium for 100% capacity. I mean, seriously. Y'all have never had 100% capacity unless you're playing Georgia Bulldogs.
Ooh.
Wow.
Where's Kelly at? that was hard. Hey, you lucky killing out here, Shelby. You lose a friend.
Oh, wow. All right. Who wants at it? You have the right to do what, when, where, how. Coach or Red? Who got it?
How we gonna follow that one? I guess I'll go. Atlanta Hawks, you got a right to go ahead and beat down the Houston Rockets so you can wrap up this 4th seed and get ready to go on this massive, and I mean extended, playoff run. Let's go Hawks.
All right, Coach. Who has the right to do what, when, where, and how?
LeBron James, you have the right to not try to return just because people are forcing you to. I see you're going to return against Pacers, but you have the right to sit out as long as you want in order to win a title, my brother.
And I will close it out. Atlanta Braves, you have the right to get your financial books in order. It was reported this past week that the Braves are $676 million in debt.
Ooh.
$676 million of dollars.
Sell the team. Sell the team, Liberty Media.
Exactly. Exactly.
Liberty of car insurance. I keep telling y'all.
I don't understand. I'm saying, why does that company keep the team if they're not interested in profiting? I mean, this is ridiculous. Somebody from Atlanta needs to step in and take that team away from them.
Well, Kelly, as you're asking a question, you may want to review the replay.
Yeah.
Shelby had a statement for your Georgia Tech.
How did she hear just that? When she just all of a sudden come on.
Red and Shelby have the right to stop using AOL.
I'm glad you remember Shelby had the first technical issue.
Red has the right to have more than one attendee to his Basketball Hall of Fame live feed. I'll attend now. You have two.
I hope you're happy, brother. You got so many good jokes on me today. Left you wide open for plenty of them.
The show has a right to make a collection of the funniest takes. We may have to do that one day. And Red, you have the right to keep your emotions in check during Kobe's induction to the NBA Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but it was that she was gonna be crying.
Oh, man. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna put a bow on episode 189. What a wonderful show! Thank you, Reverend Night Nation, for chiming in, making us laugh as y'all normally do. Thank you, Shelby, for joining us. We'll see you in 2 more weeks. And everybody, have a blessed weekend. Be safe out there. Don't hoard gas. Please don't share the gas. And everybody be blessed. See you next week. Same Facebook page, same time, 11 o'clock next week for episode 190. And we are out.
It's like Batman.
Oh, before, what did Thomas say? Here we go. Now it's time off Turbo Stamp.
Okay, I believe that one. Yeah.
We're out of here. Everybody be blessed. Be blessed and be blessed. Wow.
Look at the name of the city is Hope You Like It, Georgia.
Hope You Like It, Georgia. Oh, my goodness. Let's put it up there again. Hope you. Bye, Thomas, man. Report to us next week where you're coming to us from. Peace out, everybody.
Could have been Hope You Lick It, Georgia.